10, 10, 10, 10, day 10, you did it. Give yourself a round of applause. This is day 10 of trusting your inner guidance. And you have been learning along all these 10 days. And I have asked you in the beginning was just to check everything you knew. So I know there were some new concepts or ideas that you experienced over this period. And the ahas that you started to receive about this superpower of yours, your inner guidance, is what is going to convince you to either continue developing your power, your superpower, or it's going to say, you know what, I didn't notice anything. I'm fully convinced that if you spend the time getting connected to your inner guidance, to your superpower, and actually listening, experiencing it, and recognizing what's going on in your body, right? You have the freedom for a whole new life, living in your best whole new world. So on day 1, I actually asked you to write down what you believe about your inner guidance, and that's where the journey began. So if you did write it down, you will have something to reference to, because as we walked through the 10 days, it was about learning to trust your inner guidance. So noticing in your body, right? What is if your body's the barometer? What does your body feel like? What brings you joy? What brings you what brings you And then recognizing that you're receiving thoughts, you're receiving ideas, you're receiving vibrations, and that whole process. So then what are you listening to? Who are you around? What is making your energy feel stronger or more vibrant, and what is making you feel less than? And then it was the great thing about knowing that you got to stay tuned in, tapped in, have your energy fully charged, and then the idea of releasing and letting go and being committed and unattached to the process. So the question I have here on day 10 and what it's all about is, can you say that you trust your inner guidance? Can you say that I trust my inner guidance? So as you say those words, I trust my inner guidance, notice if your body has any particular sensations that are going on. When you say, I trust my inner guidance, you might notice that I sounds fine, but that word trust starts to create a feeling inside you. Inner guidance, the whole process. But if the word really now is trust, can you say, I trust my inner guidance? Maybe that feels okay, but there's still other things in that trust. And what you're noticing in your body is an experience that I would suggest to you is called resistance. And it's resistance is the word, or it's just an energy, that could be another word, that you have learned to consider that it's part of your experience. And hence you walk with that feeling, you walk with that every day in your life. You have just been unaware of it until this moment in time in this way. You may have had inklings before, but right now, when you say with me, I trust my inner guidance, you might already find that now that you've said it 6 times, that it's feeling a little easier. I trust my inner guidance. I trust my inner guidance. Okay? There may be some sensation. Actually, as I'm saying it right now, it's interesting. I'm having a little sensation right here in my heart. I trust my inner guidance. And that little sensation is, like a stretching of that space. And that stretching of where, I guess, in that space of where my heart would be, where it might be my heart chakra, that energy. But that idea of there's this stretching going on What it feels like to me when I say I trust my inner guidance is that there's an ever greater expansion going on. And this is what I have noticed in my life, and this is what I'm convinced of, is that it's a constant expanding universe. So the ideas of like constantly upgrading your software, and there's more apps and there's more websites and there's more technology all the time. There's more social media ways to do it. There's, Facebook is constantly innovating and changing its algorithms and protocols and what you can and can't do in various different countries and places around the world. It's constant. The only constant thing is the change. And it is expanding as everyone has their own creative thoughts. So that's what it feels like to me when it says I trust. That feels like to me, well, here I'm at my next sort of big opening. The analogy I'll use again is like going to school, in the sense that the beginning part of, kindergarten is kind of like, wow, do you believe that in the universe? Do you believe that there's some sort of intelligence? Do you believe that you could be guided? How do you feel like something could be guided to your advantage? And then actually accepting that maybe there's an intelligence that helps you in your life. And it really doesn't matter what you call it, right? That there's this sense that there's something more than just your physical form here. And again, I used the video game analogy a while back, that you're the person holding the controller, you're not in the video game. So that sense, that could be level 1, but then the level 2 is experiencing it. And it's a constant expansion of experience. So as you're experiencing, trusting your inner guidance, it's like you trust it and you get kind of comfortable with it. It's like hanging out with your high school friends. And then maybe you went off to college or university and you realized where you were going, your friends weren't going. And then it's a new experience. It's a new unfolding. It's like living with your parents and then moving out. It's like having a child. It's like a career. These are constant changes that are going on in your life. And some people just want to stay in that little box of that idea, but your inner guidance and the universe is calling you always to keep moving and experiencing more. So today it's about really noticing, do you trust your inner guidance? What does that feel like in your body to say that? What comes up for you? Is it like, I almost do, or most times, or for simple things, or for the big things, right? Do you actually trust it after this experience? Or what do you notice about trusting it? And what do you notice that keeps coming up for you about resisting it? The stories that you have. Remember, I told you before that I could have all kinds of stories, but I said create a story that empowered you. Notice if you have a story that disempowers you to trust. And notice who is supporting you in this journey. In and around you, do you have others that are saying, absolutely, tap in, tune in, move forward, trust yourself, go out and ever expand? Or do you have like cheerleaders that are of a different variety? There's a common saying that you are the sum of I think it's the 7 people that you hang out with the most, right? And they usually use that for your financial worth, right? That they talk about, well, where's your financial mindset? If you're hanging out with everybody that's making 6 figures, well, then that's great. If you're hanging out with people that are, like unemployed, then they're correlating that that's the experience. What I'm going to suggest to you is that you have to be aware of the people around you and what their vision is about trusting yourself. because that will give you an idea too of what you're moving through. So if you have people that are in there constantly saying, yes, you can do this. Yes, say yes, you can expand. Yes, I believe in you. Then that is your support team in that sense, right? They're encouraging you to trust your inner guidance. It could be different for you. And then maybe allow yourself today just to realize, what does that feel like for you, to know when others are saying different things to you. Like, I think you're off your rocker. I remember each decision I made over, it's almost 30 years. Each decision I made that was absurd. Let's just go with the 25. 25 years was like just totally, people just, when I gave up my corporate world and all the materialism and like really in that end, because from that concept about you're who you surround yourself with, I was surrounded with financially wealthy people. I had that life, I had that lifestyle, but for me, the conversation and the people that were around there were all of a very limited view of how the world works, and most of that revolved around your bank account and your economic status, the prestige, the golf club I belonged to, etc., the car I drove, the clothes I wore. And that's entirely different than what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about trusting your inner guidance and having the support conversation around you. So now I have my inner guidance, and I have mentors that I had worked with and been there to support me on that, until my inner guidance was so strong. I was able to say, I so appreciate what you're saying. So appreciate what you're saying. But that's not what I'm getting. And I learned to experience that. And then I got to this great, wonderful place where I can be connected to different people in the world. And it's like, oh my gosh, they are saying and experiencing the same thing. Like, they are talking the same words they're saying, having the same ahas. And we're going, yeah, baby, this is totally exciting, because we're each connected and receiving this huge, gigantic broadcast. And we are so in this space of, isn't life great? This is such an amazing time, and everything's happening perfectly. And we're powered up to be able to help and facilitate that process for others. So today, for you, it's on the 10 days is now, can you say, are you, it's learning to trust your inner guidance, right? It's a process. That could be it. It's like you've begun the journey, and the journey continues. And I have a great little gift for you if you've done all the 10 days to really expand that and give you this great, this huge insurgence of how your inner guidance actually is going to guide you over the next year. And it's in that moment of you being aware of who is cheerleading you on, because your inner guidance always wants what's highest and best for you. Your inner guidance is sometimes screaming at you. In the past, might be quieter now because you're starting to listen to it. But ultimately, this is the adventure that, as big an adventure as you are, or a small adventure you are, this is like the journey to your heart's desires. And really living in your best whole new world starts when you can say, I trust my inner guidance, and I am fully supported and cared for, and I know that everything is in perfect order. So, congratulations again on doing the 10 days, learning to trust your inner guidance. I hope you got all kinds of good, convictions, that you're convinced that your superpower is here to serve you. And I look forward to seeing you on November 2nd, and the big gift that I have for you, and how you're going to notice how your inner guidance really knows a heck of a lot more than you think by asking it the right questions and really getting in touch with it on a whole new level. So I look forward to sharing that with you, and I look forward to hearing your comments and what came up for you today on saying, I trust my inner guidance. And for one last time, if you've yet to do this, let's just open up. Legs uncrossed, hands ready, palms up, ready to receive. Think of something happy. I'm asking my inner guidance to clearly communicate with me today for my highest and best good in each and every moment. And I am asking to be open to receive this clear communication in each and every moment for my highest and very best good. Thank you. I love you.